Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for December of 2020. We've got Venus, Mercury, and Mars activity for you, and also a very important sign change for two planets, three, I guess, if you count the sun, and then an eclipse too. Hey, Julia, you want to get this started for Sagittarius?
Sure. Well, hey, Sagittarius, I'll start with Mercury, the planet of communication. And December 1st, Mercury is going to enter your first house of self. So when Mercury comes into this house, it means you're going to be really, really articulate during this cycle. If you have to do any type of negotiating with anybody else, if you need to kind of do any public speaking or anything of that nature, you're going to have a little extra luck with that. And then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, begins the month in your 12th house of seclusion. So at the very start of this month, you're not going to be in a particularly social mood because wherever we have Venus is where we find pleasure. So you'll be a lot more happier just kind of in your own little private world than kind of going out and socializing or talking to friends on the phone. Then on December 15th, Venus enters your first house of self. And that's really awesome because that means you're going to be embodying Venus, that planet of beauty. So it's a really, really wonderful time for making a good first impression on somebody. It's also a wonderful transit for doing anything to beautify your looks, like getting a haircut, picking out a new outfit, or getting a new tattoo. And it's a nice, dating transit too, if you're single as well. Now, Mars is still in Aries all month, and it's been in Aries for a long time, like a few months at this point, because it just finished a whole retrograde cycle in this sign last month. But it's kind of slowly picking up speed now, and all of this has been taking place in your fifth house. This is the house of children. This is the house of fun. This is the house of creativity. So you've been facing a lot of frustrations in these areas. Let's say you have some children, whether it's a little baby or an annoying teenager. You might have had more flare-ups and fights with them than usual. And then in terms of fun and amusement, because those are also associated with the fifth house, you may have gone through a frustrating cycle feeling like you can't go out and have the fun you want to right now. Maybe there are a lot of circumstances or things that are kind of blocking your way, making you feel real stir crazy and just kind of wanting to kind of get out there and have a good time. The good news is that will all begin next year when Mars finally leaves this house, making these issues a lot smoother.
Yeah, and it's already started to ease just because Mars is direct. So there's a definite tonal shift going on, and it is increased by the fact that Jupiter and Saturn are getting ready to leave Capricorn, which they're going to do this month. Saturn's going to do it first on the 16th, moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. And Capricorn, feels kind of heavy, kind of weighty, kind of judgy. And as Saturn moves out into Aquarius, there's much more of a sort of a progressive and free and I don't know, like rebellious feel, if you will. And so Saturn moves out into your third house, and then Jupiter follows pretty quickly, just a few days later on the 19th. So Saturn and Jupiter are going to meet up in your third house, which is a house of communication and ideas. It's a house of voice. Now, wherever Saturn goes, you're tested and you have to work on it, right? It's not given to you to be easy. And this is the house of voice. It's also the house of relationships with your people that are right around you, like neighbors, housemates, siblings. And so Saturn may test you in those relationships this year. So it's time to put on your big kid pants. Now, Jupiter also joins Saturn in this house, which means that actually, paradoxically, those same things that Saturn is stressing you out about can actually be quite nice. So you may enjoy, particularly great relationships with some particular of your neighbors or your siblings or your housemates. You may find that Jupiter helps you to discover your voice this year, even as Saturn is testing it. So that's some pretty cool stuff. Now, on the 21st, Capricorn season begins when the sun moves into Capricorn, and that's your second house. And so there is going to be some attention that you're going to want to pour into this second house realm of food, body, and money. your physicality, you being a good steward of your body, and also your finances. So shining the spotlight of attention into that area is a really good idea in Capricorn season. Now, there are a couple of moons to talk about this month, and the first of them is an eclipse, which is a solar eclipse happening in your sign of Sagittarius and therefore falling in your first house of identity. Now, a solar eclipse is different from a lunar eclipse in that a lunar eclipse, which we had last month in November, is more emotional. It really stirs the pot emotionally, whereas a solar eclipse like this one can make you act funny, can make your actions be sort of more of a reflection of your shadow, you know, sort of more unconscious actions. And so the point of an eclipse is to show us our shadow. And for you, Sagittarius, this falling in your first house, it may feel quite personal in places. Now we've got another moon later on this month, and that's a full moon in the sign of Cancer happening on the 29th. And that falls in your 8th house, opposite Sun in the 2nd house. And this is an axis that has to do with finance and money, including the money that's yours, that you feel that you own, and also the money that you share with others. So it covers even things like taxes, debts, credit, loans, insurance, and investments of all kinds. And that means emotional investments too. So this full moon could bring up a lot of feelings about those things, perhaps a lot of feelings of attachment around those things. And then there is this square to Chiron. Now we've called this moon balancing, healing, and taking action because of Chiron and Aries' role in bringing in a sort of a spark of assertion to help restore some balance in these areas. You can always find out more about the news of the month on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, where you will find the news of the month aggregated into playlists, and we talk about the eclipse and the other lunation this month there, and also the Jupiter and Saturn activity. We hope that you enjoyed our video. We love making it for you, and you can find us at pandoraastrology.com. And we do readings, so you can get services, our readings of a variety of different kinds there, and also classes. And please do like, share, and subscribe. And until next month, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.